Hi, everyone. Thanks for dropping into our session today. For those of you joining us because of your use of Chalk, I just want to say thank you. Before we dive in, I wanted to introduce ourselves to get to know us a little bit better before we talk Chalk. My name's Dan Hitomi, and I'm the product lead for Chalk. My mission with Chalk is to make it possible for our users to realize the potential we saw when combining augmented reality with remote assistance. Some people say Chalk is like FaceTime on steroids, but I actually like to think of this as a better way to give help and receive help to save people a physical trip. I'm not just the product lead, but I'm also a user too. Before I became the product lead for Chalk, I tried it out with my in-laws in Texas who were having trouble setting up their cable modem. It actually worked better than I expected, so it convinced me to join the Chalk team. With me is Caitlin Sachs. Could you say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Caitlin Sachs. I'm part of the Vuforia product marketing team, and I also focus on Vuforia Chalk. So as a product marketer, my job is really to ensure that we communicate the value of Vuforia Chalk to the broader marketplace and elevate the importance of remote assistance within industrial manufacturing. So I'm really excited to share what we've been up to recently with Chalk.
Thanks, Caitlin. To start off, I'm going to revisit how Chalk fits into our overall Vuforia portfolio. If you've joined the other technology tracks today, you might have heard about our enterprise suite. At Vuforia, we're lowering the barriers to create and use augmented reality in industrial settings. We believe augmented reality can be used today to help improve the design, manufacturing, and support of their physical things. Our most recent efforts have been leading our customers with augmented reality to improve how frontline workers can be instructed, trained, and guided. We hope augmented reality can be used to augment everyone's knowledge on demand to make you feel like an expert when you need to be one. Chalk in particular has been a popular starting point for all of our customers who want to get started with augmented reality right now and show others in their company how augmented reality can be applied to their industry problems. Because Chalk has such a fast time to value, we've seen a lot of growth from the product. I think it's fair to say things got a little busy for us this past year when the entire world became remote first for everything.
Sure. I think busy might be an understatement, but yes, 2020 and 2021 so far have been really big years for Chalk. Aside from releasing some really impactful features and capabilities, we cannot ignore the impact that the global pandemic has had on the product. To quickly touch on some key product milestones, we expanded our device support in the last year by adding desktop capabilities and also support for RealWear headset devices. We launched multi-expert sessions recently in March, which was one of the most requested capabilities from our current customers and the marketplace in general. We've made some really great strides with Chalk to date, which I think is a direct result of the pandemic, if I'm being honest. With the pandemic, companies' ability to provide support internally to their frontline workers and externally to customers from remote locations became paramount. With travel bans, skeleton factory floor crews, and social distancing measures in place, employees needed better remote collaboration tools. And that's where Chalk was able to fit right in. We gave Chalk away for free from March of last year through the summer, which you heard Jim talk about at the beginning of Vuforia Live today. And then we decided to launch a 30-day free trial this past January so that customers could continue to test the software and experience the value that AR brings to our remote assistance applications. So yes, in short, this year has been a busy one for Chalk, but it's one that's been really exciting. Customers have been forced to adopt remote assistance as part of their overall operations, but the upside is that they're realizing how much this can really impact their business in a positive way moving forward beyond the pandemic.
I agree. This is one of my favorite slides that I saw when we all had to stay home, but we were forced to find new ways to keep working. This spoke to me as PTC itself experienced a time is now moment to help accelerate our own transformation in becoming a world-class SaaS provider. Our customers saw firsthand where the need to access data outside the office became a critical need by a workforce that became distributed overnight. Chalk was a right now solution for the situation at hand. And even for us, it highlighted new ways we can serve our customers without a physical trip. Caitlin, do you remember that tenfold surge we saw with Chalk?
Whew, you bet I do. It was a lot of work at the time, but I think it helped shine a light on what a simple but mighty tool Chalk can be, all to the benefit of our customers, really. So besides chalk becoming immediately relevant and needed by a lot of our customers, what else do you think we've learned from them as we started to see the beginnings of life heading back to normal?
A lot of things. We actually believe chalk could replace a lot of situations that required a physical trip. They just happened to get validated at an accelerated pace. So it forced everyone to try out remote assistance and experience the unique value of augmented reality for remote-based workers. They couldn't travel, so it was somewhat of a forced experiment that motivated their efforts to make it work. They missed that physical in-person experience, but they also saw that it enabled new ways of working and it opened up new opportunities, such as making training and shadowing opportunities more accessible for their teams. The market for chalk got much larger, but we also know a larger market invites more competition. So we know we have to step up our game as our customers now understand its potential. We're already expecting more people to embrace a new way of working. And we've heard from many customers that now they see what's possible. They're not going back to the way they were doing things. We hope you all find new ways of using chalk. And I wanted to assure each of you that your feedback will be heard and it will help us drive improvements to make our experience better for you and others like yourself. Caitlin, before you joined Vuforia, what did you know about augmented reality and what have you learned since?
So I come from an advertising technology background, and therefore my knowledge was fairly limited to the flashy side of AR, where you see companies that are using it for sales and marketing use cases and showcasing how it can help overall brand engagement. But what I've learned since joining PTC is that AR is so much more. At the most basic level, it's a way to combine what you see in the physical world with all of the information that we have at our fingertips turned into digital content and overlaid on that physical environment. This can have so many valuable applications, and what PTC has done really well is identify how it can be used to really power that frontline worker and make those employees faster, smarter, more confident, more productive, just overall more efficient in the jobs that they're doing day to day. So Dan, how would you say that chalk uses augmented reality more than the broader application that I just mentioned?
It's a good question. Because PTC's long history in the industrial manufacturing space, we like to think about what the most important kinds of information frontline workers might need in the context of the environment they face every day. I like to say the value of augmented reality is based on the concept of content in context as being the most effective way to learn how to do or how to use. We see this with websites today where you get contextual help. Why not do the same thing with physical things we use? Let's meet the machine operators where they are and deliver the right content to them. Products, equipments, and machinery are now so complex. So augmented reality lessens that cognitive load for those frontline employees by augmenting their physical view with digital information. Augmented reality relies on computer vision, where we understand what you're seeing, so we can present the right information in the right way and right time to make it faster for you to apply that information we deliver to you. A relatable moment for me is when I tried to assemble a play kitchen for my daughter for a Christmas gift. I had over 100 pieces with paper instructions and having a frustrating Christmas Eve trying to compare what I was seeing on my floor and with what I was seeing on the step-by-step instructions. This is an example of an everyday relatable problem that I think augmented reality can help solve. In an industrial setting, the wrong knob turned the wrong way could bring down an entire assembly line. So being able to show someone precisely how to correct that issue in the context of what they're looking at is so valuable. For someone to be able to help out from a remote location at any time is invaluable.
That's a huge part of why I love what we do. We're using new technology to redefine how people solve problems and getting problems solved the right way the first time. So in the context of remote assistance and augmented reality, remote assistance is really about allowing someone else to see what you're seeing and having another person or a remote expert show you what they know, which brings people to a shared understanding in real time from anywhere. There's tons of different ways to provide help remotely to people, but what AR brings to the equation is that precision of the digital information in the context of someone's environment.
Also, something to think about here is we're not trying to say use chalk for all communications. We're not trying to be a general purpose communication tool. And we're also focused exclusively on problems that happen on the shop floor or in the field. We see chalk as additive to the existing ways people are used to getting help. Sometimes a question can be answered just using an email or phone call, and that's okay. But we imagine there are situations there where being able to draw on a specific area of the picture can drastically cut down on the time to explain what you're trying to draw their attention to. Instead of talking about what you see, you can talk about what to do and how to do it. Live video is also an important and differentiated part of Chalk, where we see it as an extremely rich medium that streams context in a way where remote participants can quickly get oriented and get a feel for the environment and machine that needs help. If they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, then we say video is worth 30,000 words per second. Also, Chalk was purposefully designed to center the attention on the machine instead of a person. It wasn't meant to be a social experience or attempting to replace the physical business meetings featuring PowerPoint presentations. This is reflected in how we start up the session with your camera facing the problem you're looking at. We believe every second counts in a downtime moment, so we don't want a machine operator trying to figure out how to use our app in their time of need. Finally, we have empathy for those who don't enjoy seeing their face up close on a screen. So we don't want to add that anxiety of getting help.
A little bit how we're seeing our faces up close and personal on this screen today. But now that we have a better understanding of how augmented reality can add to and improve the existing ways of getting help, it might be fun to take our viewers through some tips and tricks for getting the most out of our product. So Dan, I think we should kick it off with how Chalk uses Vuforia's advanced computer vision technology to enable those AR-powered digital annotations that we've talked about. Can you tell me a little bit about this so-called slam dance?
Sure. Some of you might wonder why we ask you to move forwards and back when you first start a live session. Within our team, we refer to this playfully as the slam dance, which is us trying to create a map of your physical world or target. The reason this step is so important, though, is because this is what makes Chalk's digital annotations stick to where they're put. This unique capability is what makes an expert be able to provide precise instructions that are easy to interpret and follow. Most importantly, they stay in place, even if you move away or put your phone down. We know our customers need to be guided across large machines across multiple steps, so it's important for those annotations to stick. What's happening under the hood here is we're sampling frames from your camera to identify distinctive and stable features to compute depth. We do this until we establish a strong enough base to work from, and we continue to process your camera feed to build out your map. This map is built in real time and on the fly without needing a predefined model or marker. This enables Chalk to be used mostly anywhere and anytime. However, there are targets that we have a harder time initializing against, such as highly reflective or smooth surfaces and repetitive textures. If you have trouble with this step, it's probably because we were unable to pick up those distinctive features that we can confidently distinguish to know where you are. So we encourage you to try against different targets and avoid those white tabletops, carpet, or even keyboards. Finally, our ability to map and track will continue to get better with continued improvements to our technology and with our device partners. For example, the new iPhones have a built-in laser scanner that could make this map initialization step almost instantaneous, along with improving map fidelity. And that's going to make our chalk marks even more accurate and sticky. So we expect your experience to actually get better and better over time.
So a little bit of advice to all: practice and use your slam dance if you want to be successful with Chalk. Another feature we'd like to showcase with Chalk is our Connect Code feature. Connect codes are a way for a non-registered Chalk user to join a session without ever having to log into the app. A registered user or a host can generate this 9-digit code and give it to anyone that they want to join the session with them. This is really important for our customers that are using Chalk in a service model because it means they can communicate directly with their customers to troubleshoot issues in the field. And they don't have to worry about purchasing licenses for their customers or require that their customers do anything other than just download the Chalk app and have it ready to go. They can help their customers in the moment of need and get connected quickly to work through and resolve problems together.
Speaking of customers, we've recognized over the years that many of our customers and our customers' customers are located in remote areas that may not have the strongest or most reliable wireless connection. And that's okay. We've developed low bandwidth mode in Chalk to help users stay connected and continue to collaborate with each other even when their network conditions are poor. Turning on low bandwidth mode tells us it's more valuable for you to see a clear and full picture than being in real time. So in low bandwidth mode, we reduce the frame rate of your feed. So it might feel like the feed is lagging, but you'll see a clear picture and the details so the remote experts can be confident in the guidance they provide.
And last, but certainly not least, we love this little feature because while it seems really simple, there's an intentional thoughtfulness behind why it's there. So Chalk has a flashlight feature, much like the flashlight that everyone has on their phones, uses the same hardware. But similar to the network environment issues that some of our customers face, sometimes frontline workers find themselves with less than ideal lighting conditions. Could be in a poorly lit factory, or they're working on something outside in the middle of the night. But what we love most about this flashlight feature is that it's actually the remote expert that turns the flashlight on. It's one less thing for the person who's troubleshooting the problem has to think about. And the expert can just go ahead, make the lighting better, and turn it on and get ready to help. So that just about wraps up our tips and tricks section. We'd like to take a few minutes, though, to showcase our newest feature release, which is multi-expert sessions. So Dan, I'll throw this over to you now.
Sure, this might be old news for some of our fans, but we're still so excited about its release. We've definitely heard the appreciation for it and enabling Chalk to be used for factory acceptance tests and training scenarios that always have more than 2 people participating. We were impressed with some of our customers who actually try to work around this by sharing their screen using Zoom or WebEx to allow others to participate in a Chalk session. Now they no longer need to do that and do a double share. And even better, those participants can now lean in and participate by drawing their own annotations. I wanted to show you this video we put together to help our users see how we support a real life situation where a first expert needs to bring in a second expert on the fly. Let's set the video up by imagining the events leading up to this Chalk session. Steve, the technician, went to a customer site to troubleshoot a new Model 3 machine. It was recently installed, but it stopped running. Steve calls Theo, the expert, for help, but upon Theo being unable to understand what Steve is describing, he asked Steve to join him in a live Chalk session. Okay, Steve, I'm going to start a session. Go ahead and enter the following connect code into your Chalk app. 763
763
179
179
216.
216. All right. Okay, looks like it worked. All right, I'll share my video.
Okay, I can see what you're seeing. Can you go through and just make sure that everything that you normally look at is all accounted for?
Yeah, I already looked at these, the ducting, both downstream and upstream. It's still not working right now.
Okay, that helps. I can tell right now it's a Model 3, so let's open up this panel.
Where have I? Oh, okay.
Okay, this is one of our newer models. I'm not so familiar with the electronics in here, so I'm gonna see if I can get Jill on here because she knows this inside and out.
Okay.
Hey guys, how can I help?
Hey Jill, thanks for joining. Here's the situation. This is a Model 3. It's one of our newer machines. I'm not so sure what this is. Could you help Steve out with this?
Sure. Can you zoom in? There you go. Okay, can you zoom in on those wires?
This right here?
Yep, that little bundle there. Okay, that looks good. Okay, yeah, that's right. Can you pan to the left a little bit there? Yep, great. Okay, I can see the lights on. That's good. Let's see where the control valve is here. Zoom in on that red valve there. We're going to turn that valve.
All right.
Great.
Oh, okay. It looks like it's getting going again.
Glad I could help.
Thanks, Jill, for joining.
Thanks to both of you. That was quick.
Great demo video, Dan. Thanks for sharing that. So now that we've launched Multi-Expert, what else do we have coming down the pipe that our customers and this audience might be interested in? As remote assistance competition continues to grow, I'm sure we're seeing a lot of new or recurring requests from customers for new capabilities.
Definitely, but we're up for the challenge and we're excited about Chalk's future. The market has evolved, so we're encouraged by customers no longer questioning how valuable Chalk is, but can it do more as they've experienced the value of remote assistance firsthand. I want to share two major themes we're working towards. The first is Chalk as a real-time knowledge sharing solution and not just being another remote assistance tool. And the second theme is Chalk as a business solution to help our customers' bottom line. First up is we will be doubling down on more knowledge sharing themes by making Chalk for Desktop into a power tool for experts. They'll use this where they can actually use more additional annotation types to guide more people efficiently, sharing content they already have, such as a wiring diagram or schematic. And then third is being able to type in written messages in case the other person is trying to get help under a noisy environment. Under our second theme, as an example of Chalk as a business solution, we have been seeing an increase in requests to integrate with ticketing systems. So we see Chalk as a system of engagement rather than a system of record. So we want to help our customers reach their vision to bring back knowledge from the field, to spread that knowledge within their organization to improve their designs, their processes, and their resources. So please contact us if you're interested in this effort, because we'd love to share and validate our designs and see if this will work for your organization.
Really exciting stuff on the roadmap for Chalk. Thanks for sharing, Dan. We'd now like to take the rest of our time to open up to Q&A from the audience. So if you toggle over to the chat section and go to moderated QA, you can add your questions now and we'll address them as they come in. So the first question that we have is, what industries seem to benefit most from remote assistance or a product like Chalk?
It's a good question. Pretty much all industries that are making, supporting, or using supporting physical products. So think about how easy it is to get help online. We want to do the same thing for your physical world and the physical things you interact with.
Great. So next question I have is, can cloud computing be used to continually refine the 3D estimation while the session is active?
I think so. I mean, I think we feel that the future is very bright, and we're looking for ways in which we can, provide more accuracy and process that information in a high-speed manner. I think we recognize that the cloud introduces some latency, so that's always a little bit of a challenge here, right? But there is a future where we're looking at some of those like hybrid models, right? And we can basically see how the recognition capabilities improve over time.
Sure. So the next question we have coming in that I'll take is, will Chalk be merging with Vuforia Expert Capture, and what is the timeline? So I think you heard Mike Campbell talk about how we're really positioning Vuforia as an overall enterprise suite. And the future vision of all of our products is to have convergence with all of our products, which means that in the future, you'll be able to see a product where you are going through a work instruction procedure, whether it's an expert capture or an instruct, and you might run into an issue and you actually don't know what to do in the next step. So we will be enabling the opportunity to add remote assistance to that procedure and call someone in to help you through that specific step that you're trying to work through. So really exciting stuff on the horizon for our overall integration.
And I'll add, that's a great response. I think, we're absolutely committed to that vision. Hopefully you all see it, right? And so it's not just a dream, but it is something that we talk about constantly within our teams. And so I do think that is on the horizon, and we'd love to speak with you. So if you have interest in that, please contact us, and we would love to, test our thoughts with you to say, is this what you're imagining in your head?
Okay, let's see. And next question we have is, can pre-made model targets be added to a Chalk session to simplify tracking?
That's a good question. The short answer is, somewhat tied to that last one, right? So I think you're seeing our whole portfolio, under the suite, and underneath all this is our strong foundation and know-how in computer vision and tracking. So if you're seeing any of the things that you see with our Vuforia engine or our Vuforia Instruct technology, you can be assured that that is going to find its way into our other products, including Chalk.
Another question we have, which I'll take, is, do you have discounted for educational use? So we actually, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, we have a 30-day free trial. It's up and running now. You can go to the PTC website to check it out and sign up for it. You'll have 30 days of full access to Chalk with all the bells and whistles. And then we step you down into a more limited account, but you still get to actually see all of the value that you would get from Chalk, and you can continue to test it out and use it. Let's see, another question we've got here. Does the front-facing camera work with Chalk?
This has actually come up recently, not today, and I think we talked earlier in the reason why we've taken a deliberate approach of starting the camera with you facing what you need help with. But with that said, I think it's something that we're always responsive and listening to, feedback. So, I would categorize this as another, talk to us, and we'd love to learn a little more why that's so important. And it's something that, we do occasionally talk about, and we hear from some other customers. So, we're interested in that feedback.
Okay, let's see. Do you think remote assistance augmented reality really cuts down on how quickly issues can be resolved?
Absolutely. I think this is, I've witnessed and experienced this firsthand. Like I said, I try to use Chalk myself for personal reasons, and it's proved out in that case. But we've actually very much heard from some of our other customers where they've experienced that rapid time to value, that shrinking of how long it takes to explain something. That's all compressed. In fact, we also heard from some customers when I asked, so how much of your physical trips can we possibly save? And they said over 90%, which seemed like a staggering number. So it was, maybe that's on the extreme end, but it just reflects a little bit of how much you can do using Chalk and how much you can do using and helping out in a remote orientation.
Sure. I've got a couple questions here that are similar about devices. So in a multi-expert session, can all users be on a mobile device? Yes, everyone in a multi-expert session can be using a mobile device. You don't need to be using desktop. And is Chalk available on head-mounted devices? So we have released Chalk on RealWear headsets. So it is available on a head-mounted device as well. Let's grab another question we've got here. I think we have time.
And let me just add to that.
Sure.
I think one of the unique values that Chalk presents to the market here is we're trying to make this a ubiquitous experience where you shouldn't have to think about what device am I on, right? Let us handle that complexity. And so part of our goals is always to try and make sure that our experiences work across these different platforms, including some of the more newer eyewear devices. And so I think that's hopefully a value to everyone here, which is, we will handle that device complexity and fragmentation, and we'll try to basically make that a uniform experience so that you're just trying to use us to solve your problem, right? So let's not let the technology get in the way.
Absolutely. So I think we have time for just one more question. What advice would you have for a company that's interested in getting started with Chalk or AR-based remote assistance?
Yeah, I think, Caitlin, you mentioned earlier, we actually have a free trial available. So I would recommend just sign up and give it a try by going to our website and signing up for that free trial. And in return, just let us know what worked well. And equally, if it didn't work for you, let us know, because we're motivated to improve our experience to make it work for you.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to dabble in using AR for remote assistance, going the free trial route to see if it works for your use case is really important. If you are very committed to Chalk and interested in scaling it across your workforce, I think it's really important to have a core crew of champions and power users that will really kind of help make it a little bit more of a viral solution within your workforce, because I think new technology can be daunting for anyone, especially if you're using new technology in the moment of need when you're trying to troubleshoot an issue. So being able to have that champion within your company or across a couple different departments will definitely make a difference. So that wraps up our time today. Thank you, Dan. We are very happy to have shared our presentation with you. Thank you for joining the session. It will be available on demand to all of you. And please reach out to us via LinkedIn or our emails were at the beginning of our presentation if you have any questions about Chalk. Thank you.
Thank you.